What's up guys? In this video we are in a tutorial and I'm going to teach you how to create a moving average bot. In the previous video you may have seen, hey, is the moving average strategy still working? How can I optimize it? How can I see which parameters work the best? Now I'm going to teach you how to create that bot from zero. We are using MetaTrader 5 and indeed, let me tell you that I'm gonna be uploading videos about this, how to create very simple bots, and then I'm gonna be increasing the difficulty. So okay, having this said, we are in MetaTrader 5. This is a platform that is widely used to trade CFDs and lots of stuff. So here we are going to create an expert advisor. An expert advisor is nothing else than a trading bot, however you want to call it. So the first thing that we need to do to create our first trading bot to open automatic trades like the ones you are seeing now is to go to the IDE. So here we press IDE and check that this is what we are seeing. So we have a lot of folders with a lot of information, but what we need to do is that we need to create a new bot here inside experts. So as you can see, I have here a folder where I have created other bots as well. But today we are going to create the moving average bot. So for example, I'm going to select this folder and I'm going to press here new. So here on new, it is asking me, hey, what do you want to create? I want to create an expert advisor. I press next and here I'm going to be putting moving average. Okay, I press next and now I don't select any of this. And look guys, we are the goats, we are the best ones here. So we are going to take all the given code and we are going to delete it because we are going to start from the beginning, from the bottom. Okay, so let me first explain to you how is the strategy and what are we going to do. So basically we have here two moving average. We have here a slow one and then we have here a fast one. So let's say that we have these crossings where, for example, the fast one comes from the bottom and ends on top. So what we are actually going to do here is that whenever we have a cross like this, we are going to open a buy position. And whenever we have a cross where the moving average, the fast one, comes from the top and then goes to the bottom, we are going to open a sell position. Hear me out, this trading bot, this expert advisor is super simple, but it allows us to understand a lot of things, how to load indicators, how to open positions, how to take data, all this stuff. So we are going to implement this simple strategy and check that now we have here two indicators. We have two moving average. So one thing you must understand guys is that whenever you want to load the data of an indicator, you need two things. First of all, a handle. So for example, this is going to be the handle for the fast moving average. Let me put fast MA slash or down slash, however it's called, H of the handle. And then here, I'm going to create an array. An array is basically a type where I'm going to be storing everything. So here, let me put fast MA, and here I'm going to be storing all the information of the fast MA. So I need another one because I have a slow MA. So I do this here, and let me put here slow MA. And that's it. We have all the variables needed to load the data from indicators. But we need to initialize stuff. Where do we initialize it? You need to understand that MQL5 is a language based on events. And what that means is that there are several events that get executed on certain points of time. So for example, we have here on init. So this event gets executed whenever you put the bot to work. So whenever you put it to work, it will execute whatever you write inside here. Guess what? This is the best moment to load the indicators and to initialize the handles. First of all, we need to initialize the handles. So for example, fast MA. And for example, here you can see that I put I and then the shortcut of the indicator, in this case, MA. And I can create now here a moving average. Well, the handle, I can obtain the handle, but look that I could obtain the MACD, I could obtain the RSI, and I have a lot of different indicators. So for example, I'm gonna be loading the moving average, and here I need to load some stuff. First of all, it is asking me like, hey, you want this indicator, but on which market? Like, where do you want to be taking the data from? So I'm gonna put this. And what this means is that, look, take the data from wherever the bot is working on. So for example, if I put the bot to work here in the euro versus the dollar, then it will take the information from here. But if I, for example, select whatever market, like for example an index, whatever, the Wall Street 30, the Dow Jones, so it will take the data from there. So it's basically like, hey, wherever the bot is working. The same goes for this other parameter, well, for this other variable. So here is taking the period, and what it means for the period, because this may be a bit confusing, is the time frame. So if we have the bot, for example, now in H1, it will take the current time frame, which is H1, but if we change it to M15, which is 15 minutes, it will take this time frame. So that is these other variables. There are a lot of variables like this, but yeah. Okay, now that we have this here, we have the MA period. Look, we are going to create parameters. So for example, we could be putting here, let's say 20. But the thing is that we won't be able to change that. And if you have seen the previous video, for example, if I try to put here a bot, you can see that I always have inputs and I can be changing the different values, in this case for the MACD. So if I want to do that for the moving average bot that we are creating, we need to create inputs. So check that. I'm gonna create here an input group. These just groups, like the input group is just this. And here I'm gonna be saying MA configuration. So what I'm going to put here is fast MA periods, the periods of the fast MA. By default, it is going to be 20. And I'm gonna put here a comment to display fast MA periods. So this comment, what it does is that it will be shown here. So whatever you put here in a comment, it will be shown here. We need the same thing for the slow one. Okay, slow MA periods. And then we are going to put 200, for example. So now that we have this, let's put the comment slow MA periods. And if we need to create more parameters, we will do it later. So here, I'm just going to put first MA periods, that's right. MA shift, we don't want shift. The method is going to be, for example, exponential moving average, and this is going to be applied to the price close. Let's do something. We need to double check that everything has been loaded correctly. So for example, what I can do is that, okay, if the fast MAH, the handle, is equal to invalid handle, we have a problem. And what we need to do here is that we are going to print, for example, an error, and we are just going to say we couldn't, well, the fast moving average couldn't be loaded. That's right. And then here, to stop the execution, we are going to put init failed, so that the MT5 knows that, hey, this bot has failed, let's not run it. Got it. Okay, so now we are going to do here slow MAH, and we are going to do the same thing. So symbol, period, and now it is a slow MA periods. Got it. And here I think I forgot a semicolon. That's right. Slow MA periods. No shift. And let's put mode, exponential moving average, and price close. Perfect. So now that we have this, we need to do the exact same thing. And look, this is just copying and pasting. By the way, if you can use the AI, use it. The problem is that if you don't have a single clue on how to do this, whenever you have the smallest mistake, you will be blocked. So that's why you need to at least learn a little bit, and then bam, you go for it with the AI and all that. I myself use the AI a lot, but I'm just the best. I know all the things I need to know, so the AI has made me even better. That's the thing. That's how we do it. Okay, so now what we are going to do is that, look, by default, whenever we load information into the arrays, what is going to happen is that, let's say that this, for example, the most recent value is this one here. in an array, what will happen is that the last value in the array will be this one. I don't want this. I want this in a way where the first value in the array means that, well, is the most recent value, and the next one is the second most recent, so on, so on, so on, so on. So to do that, we just need to call array set a series. We just need to send the array now. So for example, I want this for the fast MA. This is going to be true. And let me put here slow MA. This is going to be true as well. And now that everything has been initialized correctly, bam, we just put init succeeded. Perfect, guys. So now we have the onInit method. We have initialized everything we need to initialize. And what we need to do now is the following. In the case that the bot stops working, that we basically close it or whatever, we need to release everything that is being used accordingly and in a right way. So how do we do this? We have another event, void on the init. So this receives here a parameter which is the reason why it's closed. The bot can be closed for a lot of things. So for example, if you change the time frame, the bot gets closed and then starts again. But that can be one reason. And indeed, I recommend you that if you press here and then you press F1, you have here the documentation and you have here all the reasons. So for example, reason program, they have stopped working, calling the expert remove function, program remove from a chart, program recompile, etc, etc, etc. So we just need to release the indicators. And I'm going to do the following. Okay. So if the handle is not invalid, it has been loaded correctly, what I'm going to be doing is that the indicator, well, I'm going to be calling indicator release, and I'm just going to use the same handle. I'm going to be doing the same thing for the slow moving average, and that's it, guys. That's it. Okay, so now it comes, well, we have to do the most important, in my opinion, event, which is the OnTick event. Whenever you have a price change, we need to check some things. This is the most important for me event because here is where you check all the logic. You check the entry logic, you may check the closing logic, you may check a lot of things. So, void on init. By the way, if you don't know programming here, I have a course, but I'm not going to speak much about it in this video. But I just want to tell you that, for example, these are functions. This is the type that the function returns. And here, when we put void, the function does not return anything. But check that here, we are returning something, an int. That's why I always put here return init failed. When it's void, we don't need to call return. So here, not on init, oh my god, on tick, we just need to, first of all, copy the buffer. We need to load the data indicators. So for example, first moving average, buffer number 0. In our next video, where we have an indicator that has more stuff, we will explain what is the buffer number and you will understand it very easily. But here for now, when you have an indicator with just one item, you just need to put a 0 to refer to that item. Okay, so here, starting position, this is important. So for example, if you put a 0, you are gonna take the very last value. And this value, if the candle is not closed, will be moving. So you have to take that into account. For example, for this bot, I don't want this. I want to take the previous to the last one that is not moving. So to go to the previous to the last one, we just put 1, sorry. If you want the current one, the very last one, you just put 0. So I put 1 to take the previous to the last one, and I just want 2 values because that's all I need to load, well, to check the crossings. So we have here the fast moving average, and here I'm going to do something. Loaded fast MA to know how many values have been loaded for the fast MA. This is just to check if there are errors. So for example, this is going to be for the slow MA, and here I'm gonna be putting slow MA. That's right. So now I need to be checking something. If, for example, this value is less than 0, it means that there has been an error, because if we check the documentation, you will see that this function returns a -1 whenever we have an error. So we call it, it returns a -1, pam, we are done, we are cooked. So here we need to do the exact same thing. We put here for the slow one, we put it for the fast one, for the slow one, and we just say here, okay, man, we couldn't load the values. I don't know what happened, but we couldn't load them. We could, well, the indicator values could not be loaded. That's right. And here I'm just gonna put return. I put this so that it doesn't continue checking anything else. But now we need to start with the logic of the bot. So first of all, I want something, and it's that I just want one operation open at the time. So I just need to do the following: positions total, and this will give me the amount of open positions that we have at that moment. So if this number is 0, it means we are good. We don't have any position open, and we can continue with opening operations. So for example, I need here to check the buy cross, if there's a buy cross, and I need to here check if there's a sell cross. So check that. What is going to happen is that, okay, if there's a buy cross here, I will put the code to open an operation, and here if there's a sell cross, I will put the code to open another operation, a buy and a sell. But first of all, we need to return, well, we need to create these functions. So how do we do this? Here I'm going to be putting bool buy cross to detect the buy cross, and as we said here, this is mad simple. If the last, well, if the most recent value is above, but the previous one was below the slow average, the slow moving average, then we just have the cross return. So for example, if the fast moving average, the 0, is bigger, the 0 means the most recent, that's why we use the array set as series. Above the slow moving average, the 0, then the fast moving average needs to be the previous one, which is going to be the 1, needs to be below. It just needs to be in the other way around. That's right. And look, now it is as simple as copying and pasting and doing the same thing for the sell. But in this case, it is the complete opposite. It ends up at the bottom. So for example, it ends up the most recent here, below, and here the previous one is above the slow one. So we just have this, and check this out, we just have the crossings. So now we need to load prices. So for example, for the buy, we just need to load the ask. So for example, double ask, and here we are going to call symbol info double, and we take the current symbol, and look, we can load all this information. I just want the ask. But check this out, you may have issues with this because this may return a number like this with a lot of decimals, and it may break your code, something like that. To prevent that, call normalize double. If you call that, you're going to normalize the number, and you're going to say, hey, just use the number of digits that this market uses. And I do that by putting this here. That's right. So we need to do something quite similar for the sell. We are going to put bid, and here symbol bid. Okay, we have the prices now. It is time to open operations. We need to import a library. I'm going to put here include, and I'm going to put here trade MQH. So what am I doing here? When I put here include, the code just goes here to this folder include, and now I'm saying, okay, go to the trade folder and bring me everything that you have inside the trade MQH. Look, we are going to bring everything that we have inside this file. Don't worry guys, whenever you install MT5, this file comes. So you don't need to check it or get it somewhere, no, it's already there. So by importing all these, now I have this class, which is the ctrade. So, excuse me, now by having this, I have the trade object, and I can open operations. So I can do this here, trade buy, and look, it is asking us for the volume, symbol, price, and all that. But look, I'm going to create another group of inputs, input group, and I'm going to put here operations. So first of all, I need to check the lots. Let me put it here, lots, like this. Input, and let's put double lots, and let's say that by default I just want 0.1 lots. And here I'm gonna be putting lots. I need the stop loss. Input int, stop loss, SL, it may have problems, so let's put SL points, and let's put 200, and let's put here stop loss, input int, and let me put here take profit, TP points, and let's put here 200, and let's say here take profit. Got it, we have now all the information we need. So in order to open the buy, I'm just going to pass the lots, I'm just going to pass the current symbol, I'm just going to pass the current price that I have here, the ask, I'm just going to pass now the stop loss, and check this out. We have here the current price, but we are removing 200 points. For example, in the euro versus the dollar, if I subtract 200 to 1, which is the current value, let's say is 1.3, look, I will be getting 198.7, so minus 198.7, so that is not a valid value for the stop loss. What I need to do is that, yes, I'm going to decrease, well, subtract the amount of points, but I'm going to multiply this amount of points by the value each point has. So for example, if I multiply 200, let me do it here, by 0.001, I'm gonna be getting the actual value of the market that each point has. So look, I just get here the current value of the market by putting points. Got it. I have to do something similar to for the take profit. So I just put here TP points. Oh, I forgot to put an S here. Let me put an S. Got it. Okay, we have the S. Let's put here points and multiply this by the value of a point. Let me put here a comment, moving average EA. And let me put here trade sell. Got it. So we have here lots, symbol, ask. Here you have to change that because now we need to use the bid. Now the stop loss is not below, so it's above, so we need to add. And here we change this, and again the take profit is now below. And that's it, guys. That's how we create our bot. Let's compile. Pam! We have some problems. I forgot here to put input int. Okay. Boom! No errors. We have here one problem, and is that we are declaring this lots variable, and yeah, so we have the same name. Let's change that. So for example, if I put this with capital letters, I think that's fine. Yeah, so I think it's fine, and I just need to replace it here. So let's compile. Bam! No errors, no warnings, guys. I'm the GOAT. Okay, now that we have this, we need to try the bot. I'm gonna show you also, I'm gonna teach you how to put it to work, because I have a channel in Spanish, and in Spanish I've been doing this for years, but I decided now to do it as well in English. But in Spanish, in my Spanish channel, people always ask me, hey, how do you do this? How do you do whatever? So now that I'm uploading videos in English again, I want to do it right. Okay, people, what we need to do, first of all, let me close this. We need to open the strategy tester. So to open it, look, either you click here and press Ctrl R, or you just go here to view, strategy tester, and here you have it. You will have this view, just press single, and then look, come here and select your bot, your expert. So for example, I'm gonna be checking here, I have two bots. The thing is, I had a previous one. The current one is with an S, so I'm gonna be taking the one with an S, moving average. That's right. Here we select the market. By the way, look, now I just have these markets. Let's say that I want to add a new one. Look, if you press here to this dollar, you will see every single market that you have available. So for example, if I want the NDX, I can come here and double click this. You can see that now this is gold. It is because this market is loaded, and it also is being appearing here. It's appearing there. So now check that. I can come here and I can select this market. Here we have it. But I'm going to stick with the EUR USD. So now we select the time frame. So for example, let's say I want H1. Custom period, we have 2020. Let me change this to 2025. I don't want the test to be super long. And then we have here delays, modeling. So for example, this is important. You may have seen that in the previous video, but if you want your test to be as accurate as possible, please use every tick based on real ticks. What this will do is that you will basically take real ticks and you will see how the strategy is working in an almost real environment. So I'm going to select this, and here I have, for example, let's say I have a 10K account, leverage, optimization, done. So here we have all the different parameters that we created. We have lots, stop loss, take profit, fast MA, and all that, and we can always change them here. That's how we optimized in the previous video. So now that we have this, let me just run the test. Press the visual mode to see how it's working, and press now start. Now that I pressed here, look, you can see that now everything is loading. You just need to wait a little bit, and boom, now we have the test right here. So we need to check that everything is working fine, and look, it is. So for example, we have here this buy crossing, and check that, boom, we have a buy here. It opened the buy, and check that now, we have a sell crossing, and boom, we have a sell. That's what we are looking for. That's excellent. So we are happy with the functionality of the bot. We can see that, yeah, the bot is working fine. Obviously, again, this bot is super simple. We can create way more complex stuff, but we need to start from the beginning. We need to walk before we run. So chill, don't cry too much. I just want to tell you that here you have actually all the bots that I create. In this GitHub that you will have in the description, you come here and you have every single bot that I've created. Well, that I create in the videos that you are guys watching. So look, you have the executable that you just download and execute, or you have here the code. You come here, download the code, and play with it, do whatever you want, guys. This is a platform where you can upload your own courses, and here I have my English course to create trading bots. Here you have it. To be honest, guys, look, with the videos that I'm going to be uploading, if you already know how to program the basics, you don't need this course. Like, with these videos, you are going to understand how to do it, but if you don't know nothing, then I recommend you this course, because this course will teach you everything from the bottom. Last but not least, here we have the botplace.com. This is a platform where you can upload and sell bots. There is a lot of people uploading and selling their bots. I am selling as well my bots, but I wanted to tell you that, hey, a lot of things have been introduced in the platform, and I think it's quite cool, because for example, now that you have plans, I have the biggest plan, and here you can have a database, you can highlight products for free so that they appear more. And look, here I have some analytics on how my bots are being used, my clients and all that. So look, I truly recommend you a platform like this. I think is super useful. You can see all the API calls, and there's documentation and all that. So look, if you press here, documentation, but the most important thing is that here you have some examples with Postman collections. So here you have examples, and boom, you have all the Postman collections, and here indeed you have MQL5 code to check if the license is active. Licencia activa in English means license is active. So look, enough talking. I recommend you coming to this platform already. There's already people selling a lot of bots, so don't fall behind and start selling your bots or your software here as well. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, give it a like, share, subscribe, and we see each other in the next video.